So, let's see. So let's start off sitting on the edge of the chair, buttock flesh back, and do our arm extensions. So extending up, pulling up. Take this. Start with the hands wide and palms up, and then reach out. And as you extend through the fingertips, take with you the side ribs so that the side ribs widen as you extend out. And then start to raise the arms up, but keep the side ribs broad and reach the arms high. Bring your shoulder blades up also, because you really can't extend your arms up without the shoulder blades coming up with you. And then reach up all the way, extend up. Now, if you're pregnant, just stay in this position. But if you're not pregnant, go ahead and interlock your fingers and press the arms up, because sometimes this compressed arm position narrows the chest. So not to do that when you're pregnant, and then change the interlock. But I'm going to lift the shoulder blades up and lift the shoulders higher to touch your ears. Shoulders touch your ears. And then extend out and back. Bend forward, taking knees wide. Take hold of the chair behind you. Bend forward so that you can get so this is actually flexion in the shoulder socket. This is extension in the shoulder socket. So to get the extension in the shoulder socket, spread the chest open, spread across the collarbones. See that the buttocks are anchoring you down. Not to lift the buttocks up here, but anchor the buttocks downward. And then come on back. Right where you are, just do a little twist. Keeping the feet wide. And hold the back of the chair and the knee. Spread the chest open. And push with your right hand into the back of the chair to turn the shoulders more. And then go around to the other side. Keep the abdomen pulled back as you spread the chest open and lift the chin. Take your head slightly back. And keep drawing the spine from back to front as you rotate around. Okay. So coming up to the feet of the chair pushed up into something so that it's not going to move. And let's take Adho Mukha Svanasana. So a good way to do this pose, if you're pregnant, there's more blood circulating, and so it helps to have head support. And so lengthening through the arms, step the feet back, and lengthen through the armpits, lengthen through the sides of the waist, sides of the chest, coming all the way, making a long line from the outer armpit to the outer hips, and from the outer wrist to the outer armpit. Come forward into Ardha Uttanasana. So this is a good way to do Ardha Uttanasana if you're on your period, if you're pregnant, is to have support. You never want to have compression of the abdomen, but this is a really great pose prenatally because it gives the baby space. When the abdomen can hang like this, then it gives the baby space as the fetus is growing. Now, for everybody, the back waist has to stay wide. So not to let the weight of the abdomen or the uterus pull to narrow or pinch the low back, but the low back has to stay wide so that there's no strain in the lumbar. And the legs are very active, holding you up, holding up the trunk, stabilizing the hips. And come on up. Take Parsvottanasana, the left foot forward, the right foot back, turning the hips to face the chair. If you're pregnant, take your left foot further to the left so that the stance is a little wider than usual. And here also the uterus gets a chance to hang and the baby gets space to grow. Chest forward. Press down through the palms and pull up through the arms. Chest forward. Change legs. And Alice, feel free to take your hands further forward. And you can even bring your elbows down on the chair, Alice, if you can keep your legs straight. But if you're pregnant, keep your arms straight so that you stay in the concave position. All right. And then go back to downward facing dog. And come on. Let's work on Virabhadrasana 3 a little bit today. And so we're going to use the chair and the wall. Now, if you have two chairs, use two chairs. So you could use, have one foot for the, one chair for the foot and one chair for the hands. But if you don't have two chairs, one chair is enough. So if you have two chairs, then it would look like this. So left foot forward, right leg up, and maybe I think a bolster for the chair would be helpful, because then you can put your elbows on the chair and then your foot up. Otherwise, have the foot at the wall. I'll show you. So if you're using just one chair, you go like this: 1, 2, 3, 4.5 footsteps away from the wall, and then standing on the left leg, the right foot comes to the wall, and the right leg parallel with the floor. Okay, so the goal here is to have enough support so that the trunk is parallel to the floor, and the leg is parallel to the floor. Yes, that's right, Alice. Can you put I think Lindsay put a blanket on top of the bolster, if you have so that the trunk can be just a little bit higher. And what's really nice, if you were in the studio, is to put support under the lifted leg thigh. But at home, that might be kind of hard to do because you might not have the right height stool and such. So just in that case, just keep the leg, use the chair for the support of the foot. And now here, lengthen the buttocks away from the waist. Roll the right buttock away from the tailbone, right outer hip toward the floor. Be very firm on the right inner thigh. Lift up that right inner thigh as you extend through the right heel, and then extend the trunk forward. Widening across the back waist. And then step down, join your feet in Ardha Uttanasana, and take your left foot up. So the right foot is the standing leg, the left leg is the extended leg, and reach through that heel, reach through the heel, broaden across the back waist. Take the top of the left thigh back, lift the inner right thigh toward the ceiling. and then step down into Ardha Uttanasana. And come on up. I think both of you would benefit from a block. So to take a block on top of your chair, like that, okay? On top of your foot chair. Because then you'll be able to take the foot a little bit higher. So what we're after is this, is the leg parallel with the floor, okay, from that, and level with the hip. So for me, this block is actually a little bit low, but the leg parallel with the floor and level with the hip. Okay, so go ahead, try it again. Stand on your left leg. Be in Ardha Uttanasana. Be in Ardha Uttanasana. Good. Chest forward. And then take your right leg up. Stand on your left leg. Take your right foot up onto the block, toes onto the block. Yes, that's better. Now lift the inner thigh. Lift the inner thigh, reach to the heel. And then lift the back waist. So have a slight, lengthen the buttocks toward the lifted heel so that the back waist lifts and widens. That's important. And then chest forward. If you have enough support, you could bring your head down. That way the nervous system, the mind can be quiet as the back waist lifts. But we're doing this primarily for the back waist. As it's an abdominal pose, but we can do it with support so it's not so strictly or intensely abdominal. Okay, come down and change legs. Virabhadrasana. 3. Lift up through the inner thigh, reach back through the heel. All of these abdomen down poses are really wonderful during pregnancy. And you know, they help to get the baby in a good position. And it helps the baby to be more comfortable also. Because it's a tight space in there for both the mother and the baby. And so lift up through the left inner thigh, abdomen up, left buttock, left outer hip rolling down, buttocks lengthening toward the lifted leg heel, chest forward. Okay, come down into Ardha Uttanasana. Lindsay, feet apart. Alice, you can bring your feet together. And come on up. Now here's another way to do Virabhadrasana 3. I'll show you. The chair would turn around. Okay, so the chair goes the other way now. Now you'll have to experiment with the height of the chair. So this height is pretty good for me. So you see the top of the chair is coming to the top of my thighs. I could probably use just a little bit of height, so I could use one blanket like this. Okay, so do whatever you need to do for the chair to come up to the top of the thighs. Then from here, the hands come to the seat of the chair. Maybe I can keep the bolster. I think it would be helpful to keep the bolster. And then I can bring my elbows to the chair, and then the foot comes to the wall. You see? So this is another way of using the support. Now, during pregnancy, just make sure it's not compressing the uterus. Okay? So it should be at the top of the thighs, but not at all compressing the uterus. Okay, so go ahead and bring your elbows down. But what's nice about this is it levels the hips. And the chair into the top of the thighs, top of the standing leg thigh. And then the foot to the wall. The foot to the wall. Or to the second chair. Good. So this concept of the chair into the top of the thighs, you can use this concept in a whole variety of poses. Okay, change legs. So you could do this this position of the chair in Adho Mukha Svanasana, Uttanasana, Parshvottanasana. There's a way to do it in Parshvottanasana. So what's nice about this, I hope you can feel, is it levels the hips. It makes the hips level so that you can recreate sort of that Tadasana feeling in the trunk, the evenness through the trunk. And then come on down. And come on up. All right. Now, so let's see. For Lindsay, you will take Prasarita Padottanasana. So you can use support this way or this way, coming forward in Prasarita Padottanasana. Alice, we're going to do something a little bit more vigorous since it's abdominal week. Okay, so for Alice, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then coming into plank, and maybe a little chaturanga like this, Alice. I'll bend the elbows, yes, and then come back. Lindsay, Prasarita Padottanasana. This is not a good sequence for pregnancy, and so do it again. Come forward into plank, and the elbows down. So the goal is to keep that Virabhadrasana 3 trunk as you bend the arms and come back up. Yes. So the abdomen has to stay pulled back, the low back wide, hips and shoulders on the same level. And then come forward again and bend, chaturanga, plank, Adho Mukha Svanasana, pulling up and back, keeping the shoulders strong and healthy, and then come on up. And then we did this a little bit last night. We can revisit with the feet up on the chair. Do you remember this? So this is, anyway. So with the hands on the floor, the feet come up onto the chair. And so here I'm kind of in like a downward dog, and then walking forward with the hands into a plank, and then coming back, walking back the hands into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So this is really good for the wrists, really good for the shoulders. Coming back and forth, tailbone down, wide across the back waist. You can pace yourself. Now walk back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'm not sure. Okay. Walk back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then forward into plank. Do like 3 or 4 times. And then when you're done, step down to the floor. Turn around and take Ardha Uttanasana on the chair. Okay. And now everybody come on up. Let's come back to seated and have a block. Put a block on your chair. You might want to put a sticky mat so the block doesn't lie around. Okay. And then sit up high. So it helps if the hips are higher than the knees. We're going to do Marichyasana 1. So now take your left foot onto the chair like this, and the toes pointing out, left toes pointing out, so the abdomen is unimpeded. And inhale, reach up through the left arm. Exhale, bring your elbow to the inside of the knee, and then twist to the right. Okay? Now bring your right shoulder down, press your knee into your elbow, turn the abdomen, turn the rib cage, turn the chest. See that the weight, the buttocks are still lengthening down, and draw the left outer thigh into the left outer hip. So even though the elbow is pressing into the arm, a feeling of compacting the left thigh into the hip socket and then pressing the left knee into the elbow somewhat to give you more leverage to turn, as well as compactness in the hips to stabilize your base. And then release. Second side. The other leg can just be relaxed right now, and with the toes pointing slightly out. Reach out to the right arm, and then bring your elbow to the inside of the knee. Take hold of the back of the chair, and sit up really tall as you twist. On the exhales, twist. Have that dynamic action between the elbow and the knee, such that the elbow is pushing into the knee, but then the outer thigh, the outer knee, outer thigh pulls into the hip socket, and then the leg compacts in toward the midline. So that sort of double action is really the essence of Iyengar yoga. There's always a double action. It's never just one thing, it's always two things. And so what I mean by that, the right knee pulls out, but then the right outer thigh pulls in. And that relationship is what allows you to get the stability of the base and the movement of the twist. Release. First side, this time the leg can go out to the side. So this it's kind of like an Upavishta in the right leg. I'm mirroring you. And then Marichasana in the left leg. Reach up through the left arm, your left arm, and then come and twist. So now turn the abdomen. So the other thing that the Marichasana leg is doing is it's squaring out the hips. So it's keeping the hips stable so that you can direct the twist into the abdomen, trunk, shoulders, and as you extend through the straight leg, that also helps to stabilize the hips. And release. Marichasana, one and the other leg, and then the left leg, kind of like an Upavishta Konasana. Inhale, exhale, turn. So hopefully everybody is doing twists every day, at least a couple of twists every day, because it really helps you to process. Not only process food and digest, but also process mentally and emotionally. And it, BK Iyengar says, constipation is the root of all illness. So if you do enough twists, you'll never be constipated. And release. Okay, so now we can do chair Sarvangasana. I think, yeah, why don't we all do chair Sarvangasana? All right. And we've done this, I think everybody's familiar, but the bolsters at the foot of the chair, and then sitting on the chair, hook the legs over. You could also do this off of a couch or an easy chair. It's pretty great from there. And then extending back toward the center of the room, and then releasing the shoulders down. Get the shoulders onto the bolster. And extend your legs up. Here, bring your attention to the abdomen once again and have a feeling of the abdomen still moving toward the back body. It kind of happens naturally here. And the buttocks lengthening up toward the heels. See that the shoulders are rolled under so that you can spread the chest open, spread the collarbones. Buttocks lengthen up toward the heels. It's helpful sometimes if you have some height or some padding on the back of the chair or a bolster behind your legs. Otherwise, if you can be close to a wall, then you can take your heels up the wall. So those are some options. It's also, you can do this pose in a more restorative way by unhooking your arms from the back legs of the chair and just having your hands like goalposts. Hasta Vakrasana it's called. In Hasta Vakrasana, or angled arms. Or you could keep your hands behind you in a more relaxed position without holding the back legs of the chair. Those are some options. Also, you can use this pose for Baddha Konasana. So go ahead and take Baddha Konasana here. Soles of the feet together. You can rest your feet on the back of the chair. And let the inner thighs lengthen out as the outer thighs compact in. So once again, it's that double action, opening, spreading, lengthening the inner thighs, but then gripping, contracting, pulling in the outer thighs. So always the combination of actions is what creates the integrity of the pose. We're always kind of balancing between, navigating between stability and mobility. So now you could start to make your way down. And when you come down, let your legs rest on the chair and the hips rest on the bolster. Shoulders on the floor. Shoulders and head on the floor, hips on the bolster, legs on the chair. So this is a kind of a version of Viparita Karani. So I will officially close out, but you can stay in this position as long as you want. And then when you're ready, push the bolster away and lie on your back if that is comfortable for you. So anyway, hoping we get good news today, and see you soon. Have a wonderful day. You can stay as long as you want.